So the Celtics just did it again. Played really well in the regular season, secured a top seed in the East, the number one seed at that. They finished the season with a 64-18 record, feel me? Jaylen Brown is beating the no left hand allegations, and the team is even being led by an objectively top 10, really getting closer and closer to top 5 NBA player in Jayson Tatum. Come on now, we could get into even more concrete details, but really just off what I've already said, man, the Celtics sound like the team to beat, or at the very least, one of the teams to beat when it comes to those with a real chance at winning the 2024 NBA championship, title contenders. However, let me just go ahead and say, although the Celtics are easily one of the top teams once again this season, it's hard for me to be a believer when it comes to this Celtics team. And it's not because some of their recent losses to opponents they're surely better than in the Bucks and Knicks, even though that definitely doesn't help their case. But the real reason this team is suspect in my eyes is because of their recent playoff failures that the Celtics core of Tatum and Brown has been a part of, and the ways in which they lost. Now listen, I get it. Not every year is the same. Just because the Celtics let the Miami Heat eventually cook them in Game 7 of the 2023 playoffs doesn't really mean it'll happen again, but still, they need to get over that championship hump because they've looked more than capable several times now, and they just haven't done it. And as a result, I don't believe other NBA teams really fear facing the Boston Celtics, or at least not the way they should when we're talking about the number one seed in the East and the top team in the league overall record-wise. And in today's video, we're going to discuss this and get into a couple of my reasons why. So yeah, y'all go ahead and let me know in the comments. How do you feel about this Boston Celtics team? Are they the favorites to win the title in y'all eyes? Why or why not? And yeah, bro, really quick before I go any further, what's up YouTube? Plug Speaks, back with another video. If you're new, first of all, welcome. Go ahead and sub. Also like the video if you enjoy. I upload quality basketball content, and we are on the grind for 5K, so I most definitely appreciate it. But back to the video. So again, y'all, the Celtics have objectively looked amazing for most of the season. They finished with the best record this year. Their offense under Joe Mazzulla is ranked second in the NBA. They've got a top 5 defense in the NBA, and they're led by two proven damn near superstars in Tatum and Brown. I mean, these are all concrete facts. However, as great as all this sounds, I'm no longer naive enough to look at this and consider the Celtics as really the number one team to beat. Last year, Giannis and the Bucks finished with the first seed in the East. They were out in the first round. Now, obviously, some of the reasons as to why had to do with injuries, but I bring this up as an example to why the regular season just isn't the end-all be-all. Come on now, Celtics fans, y'all not new to regular season success. Just 2 years ago in 2022, man, the Celtics completed one of the wildest regular season turnarounds in recent history, going from 16-19 in December to finishing the season with over 50 wins, when at one point they were on pace to be under 500. This is what they do. They've been Titans in the East since forever, for years on end. However, when it comes to taking this dominance and continuing it in the playoffs as of recently, they just haven't been able to go all the way, and one of the main reasons as to why falls on the shoulders of their best player, Jayson Tatum. And now trust, it brings me no joy to say this since he's one of my favorite players, feel me? His game is so entertaining and smooth, but it doesn't negate the facts. This man is just too inconsistent in showing off his greatness. He has his amazing moments, right? And then he has those not so great moments to where it don't even make sense. You see, last year, the Celtics really looked like the team to beat when the Bucks went down. And after getting past Atlanta and Philly, I thought they were finna get some redemption in the finals, seeing as they were about to face the Miami Heat. This Heat team was the 8th seed last year. They basically had no business getting as far as the conference finals in the first place. And yet, what did not only Tatum but also Jaylen Brown proceed to do? Over the course of the first 3 games, Tatum was averaging more turnovers than assists and struggling to hit from 3, while Jaylen Brown, he was just shooting inefficiently damn near every game. I mean, obviously not what you need from your 2 best players. And although, they gave a strong effort to come back and force a Game 7, they ain't go out just completely sad. But as we all know, man, losing is losing, so none of that really even matters. As soon as they let themselves go down 0-3, man, they was doomed. You cannot let that happen, especially when you got home court advantage. But, beyond that, let me dig back even further into their postseason history. I remember in the 2022 playoffs when the Celtics faced the Bucks in the conference semifinals. They were down 2-3 in the series, going on the road to play Game 6 in Milwaukee. And what did Jayson Tatum do? He dropped a beastly 46 points, including 7 threes, to force a Game 7 and close the deal in Boston. Then he continued to dominate in the conference finals versus Miami. But when it came time to face the aging but still respectable Golden State Warriors in the finals, he played very uncharacteristically, averaging 20 points on inefficient shooting. But you know what? He was 24 at the time. It was his first finals appearance, and he was up against one of the GOATs in Steph Curry. So if you want to say he deserves a pass, I feel like that's a fair judgment. But what they did the next year against the Miami Heat just makes it all seem pointless. And the play style that the Celtics tend to dominate in doesn't really make things any better. Because yeah, they've got a strong offense, yeah, they got a good defense, but when facing certain opponents, the Celtics tend to let the defense outbeat them physically, and they just rely way too much on the 3-ball. Jaylen Brown has spoke to this himself pretty recently, and I swear there's really no truer statement than if you live by the 3, you will die by the 3, because the Celtics have fallen victim to this when it matters most one too many times. And one of their recent losses that they took to the Bucks illustrates this point even further. Please, y'all, look at this box score. Like, chill out, man. 17 threes. You see, it's funny because the Celtics and the Bucks, they put up, or at least they made the same amount of threes. However, the Celtics put up 52 of them joints. They didn't shoot a single free throw this whole game. And although that definitely has something to do with like the refs not making calls when they should have, it also has a lot to do with the way they're playing. If you're not, bro, chances are if you're getting most of your points from the perimeter, then there simply won't be that many opportunities for contact for the ref to even call something. And I know Celtics fans know this more than anyone. They can speak to this point better than me. Jayson Tatum has to be the one to stray away from being tempted to shoot the 3-ball so often when he could really just get shifty, hey, go to the rim, get the contact, shoot free throws, his euro, his floater. It's Jayson Tatum, y'all. One of the best scorers the NBA has to offer. Like, we know when it comes down to it, he has to be the one. Like, all this MVP talk around Jayson Tatum's name a couple weeks back when he was actually still in the conversation was making things more complex than it really needed to be. To me, it's very, very simple. Jayson Tatum will never really be in that MVP conversation or MVP position until his team really needs him to be. Because it's no secret, the Celtics team is well constructed, great roster. There's countless times where Jayson Tatum has given his supporting cast its due credit in post-game interviews when they've had to pick up his slack when he's had off shooting nights. And that's fine and all, that's great, but everybody knows in the playoffs when your role players are less reliable and you really need your stars to step up, is where Tatum finds his dilemma. Because I know he probably gets used to being able to rely on his teammates to pick up his slack in the regular season, but in the playoffs, he can't always play within the flow of the game. Sometimes he's gotta force it, because when he's hitting, when Tatum is on, he is the difference maker, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts to it. So yeah, but that's pretty much all I got for y'all. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts about the Boston Celtics and the points I've made. Do you believe other NBA teams fear them? Do you believe they're the favorites? Why or why not? I always love the discussion. And yeah, man, I appreciate y'all watching as always. Like the sub, share the sub if new, all of that. I'll see y'all in the next one, and I'm out.